Hey friends, so today I got to take a tour of Snowdonia, which is a huge mountain range here in Wales, and it was amazing, which is why I'm bringing you this video. I wasn't really sure if it was going to be something that I would share or not, but yeah, it was so amazing. That I think you will enjoy this video. If you are planning a cruise out here, which I know it's very highly unlikely. So if you're planning a cruise out here, I'll let you know at the end if this tour was worth it or not to me. But otherwise, more than likely, you're just watching vicariously through me. This was was it a 3 hour tour total? About 3 hours total. It took about 45 minutes to get there, 45 minutes back, and another whatever. To actually go through the mountain range and the areas that we saw. So of course I'm not going to give you a 3 hour video. I'm going to condense it down to what I felt were the most beautiful and interesting parts of this tour, and hopefully you enjoy. So thanks for watching. I don't really have a lot of answers, so if you have some questions, you might want to just Google it. And if there was something specifically that I can answer, then yeah, let me know in the comment section below. I'll start by saying that the tour bus here was absolutely amazing and very comfortable. Even though you can't really see anybody behind me, there's a lot of people in front of me. And also, this tour is being operated in the morning and in the afternoon. I think more people are going in the afternoon than in the morning. But yeah, let me let you take a look at what's, again, the most interesting parts of this tour. And I'll come back at the end and let you know my thoughts.
The hatch that comes down.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So if someone has a wheelchair, they can come on this tour.
Yeah, we have to take a seat out for it.
You have to take a seat out for it. Okay.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy this morning excursion on the Snowdonia Panoramic.
Whoa. It is a full bathroom. You gotta walk all the way to the bottom of the stairs though. Okay, we're leaving.
So folks, Holyhead, or Caernarfon, as the town is called in Welsh, was the most westerly point which the Roman Empire stretched to. So the Romans arrived in this part of the world in the year AD 60. So just over on the right hand side there, that small lump of rock, that is Holyhead Mountain. It's not technically a mountain. It's about 600 feet, about 200 metres metric, and that's the highest point on the island of Anglesey. So we're going to be crossing the island of Anglesey, and we're going to make our way into the mountains of Snowdonia, or Eryri as it is known in Welsh. Now, just coming up on the right, you'll see the medieval parish church, which dates back to the 14th century. But more importantly, the walls that surround the church are the original Roman fortifications. So that's where the Romans built a fort and a dock here in the year 350 AD. So a very, very long time ago, a truly wonderful piece of ancient archaeology. If you've missed it, please don't worry. We'll be coming back this way and we'll be able to see it on the way out. This remarkable bridge here is shaped like the tusk of a woolly mammoth. When they were excavating the dock a few years ago, they found the remains of a woolly mammoth. Some of you may have noticed by now that there's something different about the road signs in this part of the world. That there are some English words, but above them are a seemingly random jumble of letters. That's because road signs in this part of the world are in Welsh and in English. So because Welsh is spoken by the majority of people here, including by Stephen and myself, Welsh is on the top and English is below. The important thing is that Welsh is a phonetic language, and we have a 28 letter alphabet, but we do not have the letters J, K, Q, V, X or Z, or Z as we would say. So as we leave Holyhead now and make our way onto the island of Anglesey, you'll probably realise how very rural this part of the world is. And there we are, folks, just coming up. Could you just see the silhouette there of the Snowdonia range? So the range is 125 miles long, about 200 kilometres, and there are 14 peaks which exceed 3,000 feet, or 1,000 metres, or 1 kilometre. So in geographical terms, Eryri is more akin to the Appalachians in terms of their height than the Rockies or the Alps of Europe, for example. The other thing that changed dramatically here was slate quarrying in the 19th century. So all the houses that you see around it, that grey-blue stone on the roof, that is slate. I mentioned the Welsh mountain sheep. There's one of them, rather stray one in that little field over there. They are what's considered to be a combination breed. So they produce a high quality woolen fleece. We're going to make our first call, a comfort break, in the town of Caernarfon, which has a magnificent 13th century castle. And you'll be able to see the castle from the exterior. Have a little comfort break there, take some photographs if you'd like. So we're going to make our way now out of Caernarfon towards the village of Llanberis. So Stephen's just going to pull in here just for you to have a view of the lake. This is Llyn Padarn, and just in the distance there's a little castle, and that's Dolbadarn Castle. That's one of only 4 castles in Wales that was actually built by the Welsh. There are over 400 castles in Wales. All the others were built by other people, like the Romans, the Normans and the English. Dolbadarn, one of only 4 that was actually built by the Welsh. And over there, just towards the left, you can see the remains of one of the historic slate quarries, and that is also one of the filming locations for House of the Dragons. So if you want to step off and take a photo, please feel free to do so.
Wait. Hey, can you repeat that? I couldn't. A lot of poop.
Yeah.
Where's the castle?
Just over there.
That is the castle.
That's the castle there.
Remains of the castle. That's not a whole castle, is it?
That is, yeah. That's what's called the castle tower, you see.
Castle Tower.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what were you saying about House of Dragons?
So they filmed the House of the Dragons. Is that slate quarry over there?
The slate quarry.
That's where they filmed House of the Dragons.
Oh, how cool! Rhaenyra was filmed over there. And what is this town called?
Llanberis.
Llanberis.
San.
San. It's 2 L's, double L?
San. Yep. San.
Yeah, that word. All right, so there's a castle over there somewhere. And then this is where House of Dragons was filmed, over in this slate quarry over here. And then there's another slate quarry back there too. Amazing. All right, one final pass.
And then we'll get back onto the vehicle and then head into the mountains proper and do a loop around some of the valleys of the Eryri range. For those of you familiar with the legend of King Arthur, that's where supposedly Excalibur was returned to. Here are the sheep on the right. Here, as you can see, they get everywhere, including on the side of the road. They do get a little too over familiar with humans. So Llanberis, the village here, This sits at the base of Mount Snowdon, or Holyhead, Welsh, which is the highest mountain in England and Wales, the highest mountain south of the Great Glen, the Scottish Highlands of Gymraeg. And there's a steam train that you can take that goes all the way up, and that's what's creating that enormous amount of smoke. So we're now going to go up to one of the highest paved roads in Great Britain. This is the former Caernarfon slate quarry, and this is where, as I mentioned, the House of the Dragons was filmed, just on the right there.
That is
those
amazing.
What look like ramparts that go up the mountain are the former track lines that used to bring quarrymen up and down the mountain, and also the slates themselves. They worked on a funicular system. For those of you who are interested in the geography of Great Britain, if anyone's interested in visiting the Lake District or the Scottish Highlands, this is basically a very, very similar landscape. In fact, it's almost identical to what you'd find, particularly in the Lake District. In the Scottish Highlands, it would be even more desolate, even fewer homes up there. And as you can see, there are streams and rivers running down from the tops. Water will gather up there, and then they'll pool down these streams. Water, of course, follows the path of least resistance, and then they join some of the major rivers and lakes in this part of the world. The one thing this part of North Wales will never be short of is rocks and water. A couple of other creatures that make their homes up here beyond the sheep, and they are the feral goats. Now, they are not as easy to spot. They're quite timid creatures, but you will see them occasionally on the cliff faces. They're much more agile than the sheep, and so they'll graze in those areas that the sheep can't actually get to. The sheep can get virtually everywhere, but the goats can get even further up. There are also some feral ponies up on the other side of the valley. I'll tell you a bit more about those later on. Some of these, as I said, very large boulders that you'll see dotted around. These were actually left here when the ice retreated some 10,000 years ago. So essentially what you've got is the remains of where the ice sheet ended, and these boulders would have been compacted in that snow and ice. As it retreated, it fell down. There's some goats just there on the left. Can you see them with the big horns?
Yep.
Yep, so there they are. So those are the feral mountain goats. The Menai suspension bridge, very shortly. And you can sense as well how the tide has risen.
Well, this is an interesting little town, eh? "58 letters. Eat in or take out garden. So make sure you come and stop in this little shop. What do you call your shop?
Coffee chats.
I'm gonna try the homemade millionaire slice and the shortbread and a chocolate shake. And these are the items you can come and grab a snack. I would never be able to pronounce it. Wait, say that again. All right, let's see if I like how they do it here in Wales. So, chocolate shake. Uh-oh. The wind is really hard. All right, so chocolate shake. Pretty nice looking, right? Marshmallows and cream on top. It's yummy. The only thing is, it's kind of foamy, which is a weird texture, but it's good. The only thing is, it's not cold. I'm used to shakes being cold. A millionaire slice. I forgot what he said is on the bottom. It's very dense though. Caramel and chocolate. Very different, very unique. Kind of like, trying to think of what to compare it to. The bottom part is kind of like a brownie, but not really. What is the texture? I don't know how to describe it. If it was a thick shortbread cookie, yeah, a shortbread cookie. If it was a thick shortbread cookie, but with a brownie texture, if that makes sense. And then the chocolate is good. The caramel is good. Um, that one's probably sugar overload though. Maybe a little bite or two. Let's try the shortbread. This is very dense also. Oh, well, it's not. It's not dense at all. This is really good. This is probably the best shortbread cookie I ever had in my life. Yeah, get you one of these if you come over. All right, so my thoughts was I am so glad that I picked this tour. I absolutely loved it, but on camera it doesn't give it justice. So I did bring my binoculars, so I was able to get a different vantage point than I was able to give you. Also, I am a fan of Game of Thrones and House of Dragons, so that was pretty cool. I was not expecting that. I didn't do any research ahead of time. Look at these cows coming up. There's so many cows and sheep, which you saw in the video. But anyway, the price of the tour was $205, $204.99. And let me pause because I want to film these cows. Pretty cool. So was it, wait, is that the right price? Yeah, it is. So was it worth the price to me? It's overpriced, and I know from going on a lot of different tours that the tours are going to be overpriced, obviously, especially when you book through the cruise line, which is my preference because I just prefer that. We won't go into all that, but I still think it was even overpriced even for the cruise lines. Probably, maybe if you get it pre-cruise and get a discount, I would say 125 would be a good value for this, not 205. If it was a really good discount, probably I would say the minimum should be around $79, $80. But if I was to do this again, which I absolutely love the views and everything that he was talking about, the most I'd probably pay would be $125 for this, $125 USD. All right, that was my day here in Wales, and next stop is Dublin, Ireland. So I do have a tour there, and if you stick around, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I will show you what that tour was like in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next cruise.
And just in the distance, on the left, to my 11 o'clock, are some spoil heaps from the Penryn Slate Quarry.